What's going on? So CNN did 1968, over time back. They did a reflection. That was the year Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated and lynched. And you had burnings and you had marches and you had protests. You had racial inequality, police brutality, divisiveness at the presidency, election, turmoil, chaos, madness. Wait a minute. That sounds like today. Huh. 51 years ago. Wow. Ain't that something? It's funny how I did that video about Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions, and you can play that album today, and those songs reflect, especially when you listen to He's Mr. Know It All from Richard Nixon to Donald Trump. But it's funny when they did CNN 1968 special that it's deja vu again. And Richard Nixon was front and center. More things change, the more they stay the same. Racial chaos, tensions in the air, war going on, Vietnam back then. Our relatives and people involved in that, promises to black folks to come back to a better day, a better situation, more um, rights. That's a very tested time, mind you, when you look back. You're 4 years removed from the civil rights era, right after JFK was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy was killed in 68. That's the same year Dr. King died. Malcolm X was killed in 65. Medgar Evers in 64. The Black Panthers were in a strong movement. You think about all these times and all these people that were a pyramid to the whole circle and what have you, and how much it was going on and how it's reflective. 65, black folks got the Voting Rights Act. 67, interracial marriages was allowed legally, but it was illegal in most places. All this happens around that window. When I tell people this, I'm going to say this again because they don't know. Black folks have technically only had rights in this country for 50 years. So 400 to 500 years, I said 50 years of real rights. And you're going to tell me that we're going to say things equality based? I don't think so. This special was pretty powerful. Showed the marches, showed the water hoses, the dogs, showed the whites only, the whole nine, which was not that long ago. Not that long ago. The only difference now is that you don't have the water hoses and dogs on the sides of the road, and you don't see white only businesses on the side of the road, but you still got everything else, and you have a pandemic now. But you ask yourself, what has changed in 50 years' time? That's a very important question to ask, because some ways it's worse now than it was then. It's still battling and dealing with. You still have to deal with the same mental white privilege diseases and plagues that plagued then as they are now. You start to get frustrated about what's going to really change. And why are we looking at this 1968 special on CNN and still seeing a connected family blood member that we don't want that connection, but it is connected? All right, give me your thoughts and feelings about 1968, the CNN special, and how it mirrors a lot of what you see today. Hit the like and subscribe and the bell rings new video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And if you don't change, your ideology is bound to repeat itself. I'm out.